So you've decided to downsize, whether it is for financial reasons, maybe a simpler lifestyle, or you just want a fresh start. Let's talk about all the ways that you can start doing this bit by bit without the overwhelm and still have it be such an empowering experience. So, first off, let's talk about the reframing of your mindset because when you are downsizing, you obviously are going from a bigger space to a smaller space. And what are all the benefits that come along with that? And I'll be real, for me, it was about having less stuff to clean. When we were in our home, 4 bedrooms, had a home office, big kitchen, 3 full bathrooms, and there were just rooms I didn't go in anymore. When the boys moved out and their bedrooms were empty, all I could think about was like, okay, I got to go and make sure that it's not dust accumulating in places, that the toilets don't have some weird water ring around them. And I was looking forward to just less home cleaning. But what about you? Sit down and make a list of just a few things that are going to make this a beneficial move and not a loss. Then I want you to set some downsizing goals. I want you to really sit down and make a list of what it is that you're aiming for in this next phase. Is it to save money? Is it going to be closer or, better proximity to whatever new life that you're going to be living, whatever this next phase is going to look like? Is it maybe going to be just a simplified lifestyle? Maybe you're into minimalism and you just want a smaller footprint. Make a list of that because it's going to help you as you start going around your home and making physical changes with letting go of stuff. Then I want you to set some downsizing goals. I want you to really sit down and make a list of what it is that you're aiming for in this next phase. Is it to save money? Is it going to be closer or, better proximity to whatever new life that you're going to be living, whatever this next phase is going to look like? Is it maybe going to be just a simplified lifestyle? Maybe you're into minimalism and you just want a smaller footprint. Make a list of that because it's going to help you as you start going around your home and making physical changes with letting go of stuff. Now, as you start going through those things and you're decluttering or you're, digging through the closet, digging through the drawers, digging through the cabinets, and you're finding stuff that you just don't know what to do with. Do I throw everything out? You actually can simplify it by what I call the 4 box method. And with the 4 box method, you are literally setting aside 4 piles for everything that you're going through. First, I want you to have a pile of things that you're going to keep. So, this is the stuff that you will be carrying into the next phase. It's going to be the clothes, the dishes, the bathroom towels, all of that. What are the things that are actually going to follow you into the next phase? Then I want you to have a second box that is for donating. This is going to be the stuff that is still usable. It's still got of some quality and it's loved so much that it looks just downright torn up. I can tell you that some of the things that my kids had that were truly just, ugh, disgusting. And there was no, that might have looked good, but I knew the history of those items and I was not going to burden someone else to try to clean it and figure it out. So there was a pile for donating. And you can decide how you donate it. Maybe your local church, maybe your local women's shelter or community center might have some use for the old chairs that you want to get rid of. Or, I had a lot of books with my doctoral work that I did. I had a lot of those books that went along with learning how to do academic research that once you get the degree, you just don't need those types of books anymore. So I actually boxed all that up into my donate pile because I knew that there were some people that were going to find that useful. Next, you're going to have a box for selling. And that might be a little bit of a figurative box because in our situation, the stuff that we sold was furniture. So, of course, you can't fit a couch into a box, but you get the point. So, what we were able to do is we went around the home and we really thought about the square footage of the spaces we were moving into, which our apartment was less than half of the square footage of our former home. So things like the square footage, the dimensions of each room that we were moving into, the living room, the bedroom, or whatever, we had to measure that and decide, is this big old couch going to fit in this new tiny space? And as we, one by one realized, no, it's not, then those were items that we were able to sell. And it was very good quality. I will say, if you want to hear more about all of the drama that went on with selling the furniture that me and my husband disagreed on, I want you to go back and look at the video about our midlife move from the suburbs to the city, where he gets to be all dramatic about how I price some of the things. Next, you're going to have your final pile, which is trash. Yes, there's some stuff that you're going to have to just flat out throw away. And I mentioned some of the things that were in my kids' rooms that I knew, like I said, the history of some of those items and decided, no, this is going to be trash. And didn't want to go through the hassle of cleaning it or sanitizing any of that stuff. It just went into the junk pile. And for those, we in our neighborhood, we had heavy trash days every week. So I was able to pack all that stuff up and just little bit by little bit take it to the curb and allow the uh, trash pickup to handle some of that for me. So those 4 boxes, 4 box method. So that's to keep, things to donate, things to sell, and things to trash. Then you're going to come across things that have incredible sentimental value. And I talk very often about how when we were decluttering, the thing that came across to me that I had a big, big, I don't know, just an emotional moment letting go was going through my kids' school pictures. Because, of course, you buy the big packs of school pictures when they come home from whatever school picture day, and you buy all of them thinking that you're going to give away every single one of those wallet sized pictures. And then you don't. They go into a junk drawer or into a cabinet somewhere. And once they're out of sight, they're out of mind. And you just never touch them again. Years and years go by. And in our situation, you're packing up for a move and you come across those second grade pictures that you just haven't touched in a while, haven't thought about in a while. And so for me, I decided instead of keeping all of the packs, because they were all duplicates, of course, I cut one that I would put in a frame or in a memory book. And that was it. And I was able to let the rest go after I dealt with all the emotions and the flood of memories that came along with that moment. But with you, think about a way that you want to memorialize those things. So if you come across your kid's old clarinet and you're so emotional about it, you just got to keep it, then figure out a way to memorialize it without having to physically carry the stuff with you into the next phase, because the stuff is just going to hold you back, it's going to weigh you down. If you're thinking of learning how to play the clarinet, then fine, keep it. But if it's just something that is just a thing, a relic that is going to sit and never be utilized again, let that stuff go, girl. You don't have to pull that into your next midlife journey. So I like to, take pictures of things. And even with pictures, I have, kind of made a commitment to myself that I'm going to start getting all of those pictures out of my camera roll. And I'm going to make it a point to print those out into memory books. And I will, maybe make some themes with it, maybe, school age things for my kids, maybe the different sports that they played, the arts and things that they participated in, maybe eventually doing that work. But as far as carrying all of those things physically into the next space, I will tell you, once you downsize, the first thing that you lose is closet space. So be very thoughtful about what you want to pile up in that closet when you move into your next smaller home. And as you declutter, think about all the good that you're doing. If you are donating items that can be used by someone else, it's still good quality, you're doing someone a real service, because they're not going to be going and paying top dollar at whatever store. It could be something that is truly vintage and beautiful, something that you are going to pass on to someone and it becomes a brand new treasure for them. I felt that way when I let go of my wedding dress because been married, 2 decades, and that dress was sitting in the closet in a bag and never touched it again. It was beautiful on my wedding day. Loved the pictures. I was rocking the look. But once that day came and went, that thing was just in the closet taking up space. And I'd always imagined that I would hand it down to someone. But, I was blessed with two sons, so there was no daughter to hand it down to. And eventually, when we decided to do that downsize, I decided to donate it. And so there is someone somewhere that is probably using the dress, maybe redesigned it, maybe cut it up and made it a tablecloth for all I know. But it was doing me no good just sitting in the closet. I had the beautiful memories, I have the photos to memorialize that, but the physical dress itself was no longer serving a purpose. So by letting it go, by passing it on, there is a new owner somewhere that is getting some good use out of it. And same thing happens for the china that was in my china cabinet, the crystal champagne glasses that I didn't use anymore. Somebody somewhere is getting good use out of that. And I felt good knowing that I was able to make that possible by just simply saying goodbye to it. And as you're going through all of this decluttering around your house, I mean, it physically takes a toll on you. So I want to emphasize the need for self care. I know that at my age, I can talk a whole lot about having the energy and freedom and all that jazz, but ultimately, my back is 50 something years old. And when I'm bending over, packing stuff from shelves into boxes or lugging big trash bags to the curb, it took a lot out of me physically. It felt like a huge workout every single day. So I encourage you to do this in chunks. Do it in segments. Schedule a start time and a stop time when you will truly walk away from it at the end of whatever time that you allow. And then, take care of your back, take care of your skin. Put a mask on if you might be going into places that haven't seen the light of day for a very long time and you don't want to breathe in a bunch of dust and other particles. And I tell you that maybe even taking a moment to write it out on a calendar could be a good tip for you. So you could say, like right now, starting small with a drawer, a junk drawer, a kitchen, bathroom drawer. Maybe that's what you do today. Then the next day, you move into a bathroom cabinet. Then after that, you decide that you want to go into your towels. Because I know for me, I had a bunch of kitchen rags that, good Lord, I think had washed every dish on the planet that I just really needed to let go a long time ago. But anyway, I digress. So do that and just put it on a calendar and say, this is what I'm going to do Saturday. This is what I'm going to do Sunday. This is all the time that I have on Monday. So I'm going to do this small thing because I know I can start and finish it in that short amount of time. But take care of yourself, pace yourself. You don't have to do it all at one time. It is going to be a lot of physical work, but make sure that you take breaks in between so that you don't completely allow your body to give out before the goal is accomplished. And again, I've created a resource for you that you can access in the description. I will put the link there for my ebook, which is Decluttering and Downsizing for a Midlife Move. And even if you're not thinking of moving into a smaller space, I encourage you to take a look at that ebook because it simply is good information about clearing your physical space to simplify your life, no matter where you're going to live. So if you decide that you're going to stay in your home and maybe not move to a smaller space, you still probably have a lot of stuff that you could offload. And at this point in our lives, in this phase, this season of life, I'm wanting you to have a simpler way of living. I don't want you to be burdened with a bunch of junk. There are so many benefits, both health, mental, and emotional, to clearing out your physical space that I would love to actually make a video about that. So I think I just gave myself an idea, but I will keep you updated whenever that video is going to be released. But ultimately, give it a shot. Take a look at that ebook resource, read through it, and just take a moment to start simplifying the things around your homestead. And if you find it useful, let me know in the comments. If there's something that I missed, maybe there's a blind spot that I didn't cover that you still have questions about, put that in the comments as well so that I can help you walk through it. Because ultimately, I want you to enjoy this season of life. I'm all about you using midlife as an upgrade and not some kind of crisis that everybody wants us to believe is going to happen once we turn 50. But honey, 50 and up, we are here to be completely selfish and take care of ourselves first. All right. If you enjoyed this, I want you to subscribe, and that helps other people like you and me find this information so that they can live the midlife of their design.